Hello, hello, my friends. My name is Leo Babauta. I'm from Zen Habits. And as I write this, we are entering into, we're in autumn, but winter is coming. So uh, it is getting darker each day where I live. I know that's different around the world, but from where I live in the Northern Hemisphere, Northern California, it is getting darker each day. It's getting colder, and we're entering into a period of darkness. Now, that is literal darkness, like the days are getting darker, and the darkness is coming sooner. But it's also maybe metaphorical. Maybe there are times of darkness that are here in our lives right now around the world. And so in this video, I intend to talk about opening to darkness and what I'm learning and studying and practicing around darkness and my relationship to darkness and how we could all practice with that. So I'm going to share a book with you. It's called Opening to Darkness. Beautiful, beautiful cover. It's from a Zen teacher, Zenju Earthlyn Manuel. Subtitle is Eight Gateways for Being with the Absence of Light in Unsettling Times. Now, I don't consider myself an expert in this. I am a student. Oshu Zenju Earthlyn Manuel is a PhD. She's a poet, an author, an ordained Zen priest, and a medicine woman. Um, she's the author, maybe her more famous book is The Shamanic Bones of Zen. She also wrote The Way of Tenderness, Deepest Peace, and more. Native of California, resides in New Mexico. She is an amazing teacher. I don't know her personally, but I consider this book to be profound. She talks about our relationship to darkness itself, and not just in terms of an absence of light, but in terms of the inky black darkness of deep night when there's no light, but also the unknown, the darkness inside of ourselves, darkness in skin. I'm a person of color, and I'm not black, but when we societally have a fear of what's dark, she asks us to imagine what it would be like if you have that fear of darkness, feeling that dark is bad and evil and fearful, and your skin is dark. You occupy a body where you can't escape having dark skin. I think it's such an incredible question to pose to ourselves. Like, what would that be like if you don't have that body already? What a privilege it is to not have to have that question front and center for you every day. So, I want to talk a little bit about what I'm doing with this. So, last December, I read the book and let myself sit in some darkness. I would go outside when it was dark and sit there, let myself kind of notice what that made me feel. I'm doing that again this December as we enter into that. As you watch this, it might already be, mid-December or something like that. But as I record this, we're getting closer to December, and I plan to reread this book, sit in the darkness. I meditated last December in darkness a lot. And so I'm going to actually literally be sitting in darkness and then letting myself feel what I feel. Let whatever comes up come up. But also reflecting, journaling, and taking walks and thinking about how I relate to darkness. What fears come up? What do I think of people who have dark skin, including myself? I have dark-ish skin. I'm brown. What have been taught to me around darkness? What are the cultural messages that we have? How do I relate to the dark parts within my spirit or soul or psyche or emotions? Darkness like, sadness and depression, for example. How do I relate to the unknown? This is a constant inquiry for me, not constant. A thing that I return to regularly is inquiry around the unknown. So I'm practicing with that. And, how do we, like, why do this? Hopefully that's obvious for you right now, but I believe we have an unexamined relationship to darkness. People with dark skin, um, you know, the color black, the absence of light, the the night, the unknown. Um, there's cultural messages around black cats and black witches and black people and black spirits and all kinds of blackness and darkness. And I think it's worth examining that to start with, because otherwise we actually have no awareness of how it influences us. But I also believe that as we examine that, there's an opportunity to redefine our relationship to that and find the beauty in darkness, find the beauty in blackness, find the beauty in the unknown, and let ourselves sit in that uncomfortable place of the unknown and in darkness, and let ourselves grow in that space as opposed to avoiding it. If there if there are parts of the world that we can't be with, we are limiting ourselves, limiting our love, limiting our expression of our lives and ourselves as human beings. If there are parts of the world that we have to avoid, certain types of people, places in the world, if there are parts of the world that we have to avoid, we are shutting down life. We are shrinking ourselves. We are not letting ourselves grow and open in the more challenging places for us, places that are uncomfortable. So I really encourage you to look for those places. It might not be around darkness or blackness or any of that. Maybe there's something else. Maybe it's hatred or anger. Maybe it's racism or misogyny or homophobia or transphobia. Maybe there's something there for us to be willing to sit in the discomfort and then from that transform our relationship and open. And if we could do that, I believe it'll be transformative for us as people and as a society. I want to just close with an encouragement. You don't have to read that book. You don't have to go and sit in darkness. But I do encourage you just to look for the little places in your life where fear comes up and notice, what is it that you're afraid of? And could you sit in the discomfort of that fear at least a little bit? Lean into the discomfort, not to the place where it's painful or traumatizing. That's too far, but just a little bit, so that we could slowly start to get comfortable in those places. And as we do so, we are expanding ourselves in the world, expanding the amount of the world and humanity that we can love and the amount of ourselves that we can love. Because what we're talking about is not so much fear of others. I mean, that is a big part of it. But it's also when we fear others or hate others or judge others, what we're really doing is saying that there's a part of ourselves that we can't love, that we have hatred for, judgment for. If we are like, that person is so egotistical, we are judging that part of our own humanity that is egotistical. If we're like, that person is scary because of the energy, the anger that they have, we are saying we are afraid of our own energy of anger. So as we practice leaning into these uncomfortable places, what we're really doing is opening more and more to ourselves and to others at the same time. And that's an incredible, incredible practice. So a little bit of a deeper video, not so much like top tips on this or that, but I'm hoping that you find something in this worthy of contemplation and practice. Sending you love, my friends, in these times of darkness.